Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we'll be focusing on the sixth International National Youth Conference, which concluded its activities yesterday. Yesterday there were two sessions, one of them focusing on health, and the other one was focusing on the database for infrastructure. This in addition to the Ask the President session, which concluded or wrapped up the final day of the conference, in order to shed more light on the main highlights of the conference throughout its 2 days, and of course mainly on focusing on the health issue that was discussed yesterday. We're very much honored to have with us Dr. Naif. She is Vice Dean for Instructional Affairs at the College of Language and Communication. Good morning to you, Dr. Hiba.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Hiba. Dr. Hiba, to start with, from your point of view, what is the significance of holding such conferences for youth? And it's the sixth conference to be held by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi,
Yes.
and the first one to be held under his new leadership, the new term.
Yes. Good morning to all of you and to the audience as well. Well, I think it's not becoming a conference for the youth only. Each president has his own strategy in talking to his people.
Indeed.
So one of I think the choices President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi chose was to talk to the Egyptian people in general, and in particular to the young, through such conferences or summit. We had 5 national and 1 international. And choosing the theme of each conference is being done significantly. You see, for example, the Let's Talk, the international one, it was Let's Talk. And I think this is what we are doing throughout the 6, not just the 5th one only. We are talking. We have one of the significance, as we were talking to Hela, this is one of the things, is that there is a gap between the government and the people. And not just the youth, all the Egyptian people. And we do not know, for example, lots of people do not know our prime minister. He's the new prime minister, and he has got a good vision, and we needed to listen to him. So when you listen to your own prime minister and other ministers, and you think that the government are, all the time they are working, they are talking to themselves, other than from the press statements, which is not effective. As I always say, we need something else. And this is the something else. When you have this interaction between the Egyptian people and the government, when you have the time to listen to a government which has a vision of Egypt 2020, and it's not just a vision that it's something that's being done. Lots of achievement is being done, but we do not know anything about it. So when I remember immediately after the talk of the first round, Hiba Besha, and I like to listen to people and their comments. The first comments on the social media from journalists, such as Hiba Besha, for example, she said, now we know that there is a big problem in our government, not because they are not doing something, but because they are doing lots of things and they are not communicating it.
Yes, communication is the key word.
Yes,
indeed.
And that's why we need to listen more to our prime minister. It's not, we need to listen more to our president, by the way. We need more.
We need to listen to each other, Dr. Hiba, I believe, and the conference was a very good chance for that, especially youth. Youth is the segment that needs listening the most, because youth always have this idea of like they are separated from older generation, and they always need someone to listen to them. They always feel that they are not well understood, and I believe that since declaring 2016 as the year of the youth, there have been continuous efforts to bridge this gap between
with the
youth
first conference
and older
in 2016,
generations.
With the first conference in 2016. But what I'm saying here is that it really, let's say, the significance and the benefits far exceed just the youth.
Yes.
Okay, that's the point. The youth. They have the forum. They ask the president. Okay, I mean, when you have lots of ideas and questions, this is a beautiful thing, and you can interact directly with the head of the state, with the Ask the President. I remember when I was young, and my father told me a story about somebody who wrote a letter to President Gamal Abdel Nasser when he was young, and then the president answered back. I always felt fascinated about this. And then the American president, when he answers emails and etc. And I wanted to have a president who would listen to us and respond to the questions. And this is happening in the forum or in the conference. But it should not stop there.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be something we build on all the time. I mean, lots of talk has been done, lots of, not just talk, lots of things has been done. And we need to work on it, we need to improve, we need to see what else can be done.
Yeah. Dr. Hiba, the President also declared the year 2019 as the year of education.
Yes.
How do you see that,
Yes.
and what's its significance?
You see, from the beginning of the conference, the first round was about building the Egyptian personality, the Egyptian person. And this is something we are always making mega projects and building new cities, but we needed to focus on the person, because the person is the most important factor in the whole formula. Yes, in the whole formula of success.
Yeah.
It's the person. So the first round, choosing the theme of the first round, which is actually building the Egyptian person, and then saying that when the president said that it is an effort of the whole society, not the government, not the state. It's the responsibility of everybody. And then going directly to education. And if you notice that the Prime Minister was given 10 minutes, every speaker was given 10 minutes, only the Minister of Higher Education was given 30. In order to talk more about education. From the beginning, such a things, allocating such a time which exceeds the rest of the ministers and the Prime Minister and so on, this is, it said something. It said that this is going to be the focus of our attention for the coming years. One of the things that I really loved is the fact that they are not going to have carbon copy of the traditional education we have been doing for ages, because it hasn't actually done a lot to Egypt. This traditional type of education, okay, enough with it right now.
That is based on memorization.
This
type
and even the first person, the first student of the top student of Sanawiyya Amma, when he said this, it doesn't help to create, it doesn't help, such a type of education doesn't help to innovate or create. This is true, it doesn't help. You will find lots of people who have been top of the Sanawiyya Amma and so on, and very successful even in the university, but failures in the real life. And we need to do something about this. We need to establish new universities or new specializations with not the tradition, and this is going to be a fight. The president said it, the ministers said it, that they need something different. But telling you from now, I'm anticipating this is going to be a fight.
Why?
I'll tell you why. Because change is something we do not like, okay? And you are not changing. I mean, who are the people who are going to do the change? The people who have been raised for the traditional type of education.
But they are suffering from it as well.
Yes, but they will fight it. They will fight the change. They will like.
I believe it won't be a fight, but it would be more of resistance. Resistance that is unconscious, because consciously they won't change, but unconsciously perhaps there could be some resistance out of fear of the unknown.
You know, I'll give you one example. If you go to the Supreme Council of the universities and you want to give them a new program with new ideas, okay, and you want to accredit the program, you will have a problem, because they will say, perfectly, we are okay with it, it's great that you are having something new, and then they will look at the curriculum and find something new, find that this is not the curriculum of the traditional universities, and they will freak out. okay? And then you will have a problem because they wanted a replica of your, I'm talking about experience, by the way. They wanted a replica of the old system. When you want to merge disciplines, you want interdisciplinary things, you want something creative, you will find a problem there. You can do it with your own, because the president was asking about international universities. International universities go for strange, or for us it would be strange, not traditional,
methods of
not just methods of teaching or education, disciplines. Merging the disciplines, this is what we need right now. New divisions, for example.
Of course.
As we say that we didn't, most of the Egyptian people, and I'm just saying it on air, do not know the prime minister, do not know what's happening for the ministers, what they are doing, what they are achieving. Where is the mistake here? Where's the error, in your opinion?
I believe that is the gap between the youth who do not follow up what's going on a regular basis, and the government on the other hand.
And not just the youth, the people.
The people,
in general.
but mainly the youth. Because,
and I think we were talking a few days ago, I think, on the importance of having spokespersons.
Yes, we did.
Yes, spokespersons. This is, if our government had trained each ministry had trained spokesperson, not somebody who is a media person, no, spokesperson who knows what to be said, what to be done, how to deliver it.
Yes.
Okay, this is something we really need. We need a division in media colleges, which is called political communication. Okay, this is something we should have.
You want to train people to do that from the university, not just to assign someone to do that.
Because that would be part of preparing the students for the market.
And we were talking that we need
actually
we are going to launch this political communication department in our college because this is what we really need. We need somebody who can talk to
and reach
domestically to the people.
If you remember, Hiba, our talk, we discussed not only media spokespersons, but also company spokespersons as well. When I told you that it's very important that even companies should have someone to talk to the press and the media, how to handle their questions.
It's somehow, Hala, in the companies, it's PR. Mainly.
But they don't do it
this would exceed
they ask for training and not so many companies in Egypt
and our government needs this because we have lots of achievements. When you listen to the prime minister, you listen to somebody who has vision and who knows what he is doing, what he wants. So it's the whole government. They have vision, but they do not communicate this vision to the people. This was a golden opportunity for us to realize that they are not working ad hoc. They had a vision, they have a program, they have something to achieve, and we can tell them what to be, what we think should be done, and they listen to us. This is the job of communication media, okay, in the government. They have media counselors and so on, but with all due respect, they should have spokesperson who would be able to communicate correctly, well-trained, highly trained from the university level. That's why we say we need different disciplines.
And this is just an example of what we need. I mean, what the student would need in real life would be much more than that. So preparing the students for the real life or for the post-graduation life does not only involve this particular element, but actually so many things. Speaking of new disciplines, Hiba, also I've learned from my son about this new discipline that is called BTM, Business Technology Management, that combines business and technology and management.
Yes.
And here in Egypt, the most developed universities would give either business
or management
or IT, information technology.
In our university, we would give a merge, actually.
Perhaps between two of them.
I believe that many universities now are starting to
looking
do
for
what you are
this.
saying.
But again, we need the support of the Ministry of Education, higher education. We
yeah.
need the Ministry of Higher Education to support such thoughts. If the minister himself believes in this, this should be something contagious to everybody who's working with him. Plain and simple.
Yes, and that would bring me to ask you, Dr. Hiba, how do you see the keenness of the President to meet with the Supreme Council for Universities in a related matter?
This is an important step. But again, I would not rely, I mean, the President had made it clear that he wants different education, he wants progress, and he believes that this should be start from building the student from, primary level till the university level.
Indeed.
He made it clear. This is his wish, and he is supportive to this. He is trying to communicate this to the Supreme Council. But again, we need a change. I mean, this vocational universities they are going to do, this is great.
Are we talking here about the change in mentalities of
the culture of the people?
Officials,
and
yes?
this should start from the school.
Yeah.
I mean, we should allocate the best teachers to primary school. The top.
That's a top priority,
Yes.
I believe.
To be allocated to primary school, because this is the most important thing.
And speaking of qualification, I believe that also those teachers need
exactly
qualification.
And we will have, as you called it, resistance.
Yes.
Okay, but
From both sides.
I believe that there is a real. I mean, this is the role of the media.
But
okay?
why resistance? Because it would be better for everyone
Change.
here.
Change.
It's
Change
better
is
for the
something-
teachers themselves to be trained, to be qualified, to get well paid.
Maybe not everyone would take it that way. They would say we are good, and they would take training as a significance that they are not good enough for the job. Many
Everyone
people-
needs training.
Yesterday in the breakfast show, there was a minister, a former minister, Nadia Zakheri.
Yes.
Okay, I listened to the show, and she was saying something that really stopped me. She said the top 90 scientists in the world, in the list of the top 90 scientists, 10 came from Egypt, 5 living inside Egypt, and 5 abroad. Excuse me, and we are calling we are saying that we are having troubles with the higher education of Egypt. We have top scientists, top researchers. I mean, we do lots of research, and but what we really need is that we need to change the way curriculum are set. Okay, we need the curricula to be different, first of all, and we need to have new vision. We need people to believe in what they are saying. I do not want somebody to say that we want interdisciplinary, we want different, we want technology. And speaking of technology, you were talking about your son with the merge. When we were in Barcelona, nowadays in they talk about in Autónoma University of Barcelona, they talk about new trend, which is media and technology. Okay,
Yes.
It's not digital media. It's not new media. No, it's a merge between using the computer science and media. And this is, again, one department or one division we are working on in our university. Because we want something, the untraditional, okay? Because we have the traditional. So let's have something which is untraditional and see. Maybe this mixture
And
would...
this would
Let's
go
go
with the
with the
wave of the global wave for modernization, everything.
They were
in
talking
fields.
about using computers and artificial intelligence to verify news, to find fake news.
That's really interesting.
And this is something we need to cope with, right?
Yes.
Especially that we have fake news all the time, and we need this media literacy thing and so on.
Well,
So-
yes, I believe, Dr. Heba, that you are very right. You've touched upon a very important issue, the need for change. And I believe that this conference is
Yes, it's all about
working-
change.
It is.
It is about change, while also maintaining the significance, because I believe the venue, choosing Cairo University
Yes.
as the venue,
The tradition.
the tradition.
Hitting upon the
so
tradition.
you have the tradition while going through.
When the president was talking about identity, he said that we are not going to go for, the historic identity only, but we
Yes.
will find to create future identity.
That was the main point.
Indeed.
Dr. Heba Naif, Vice Dean for Instructional Affairs at the College of Language and Communication. Thank you very much for
you.
being with us
Thank
this
you.
morning.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Dr. Heba. And now our dear viewers will go to a short break, and after that we'll be back to resume the segments of the breakfast show. So stay tuned.
of Osiris is considered one of the most important ancient Egyptian literature works, if not the most important one indeed. The oldest text source about Osiris legend goes back to what's known as the Pyramids texts, which were recorded starting from the end of the 5th dynasty. But the original roots of these texts definitely belong to much older times, maybe to the pre-dynastic period, and naturally before human knew writing and started to write down his thoughts. It's difficult, though, to depend alone on the Pyramids texts in what's mentioned about Osiris legend and its events, in imagining and reciting the events of the legend.